Verdade. Oh, my friends, how are you? You almost caught me off guard, but I was a little bit ready. So it's Saturday. Get a little tech treats real quick. If you read my Substack or if you didn't, I did something that I told you not to do before you build. Before you build anything, you get an idea, you're supposed to validate, right? Does anybody remember that? I've been preaching it for I don't know how long. Well, I made the mistake of doing exactly that. I built something before I thoroughly validated it. That was my creator suite. I was talking about the creator suite for a couple of months now. I've been building that. And I I kind of talked to some people and kind of validated it, but I didn't really do my due diligence. And then when I was ready to display it to, show it to people, nobody took me up on my offer. I was going to give them $20 for the first 5 to show up, and I got crickets. I was in 3 different Facebook groups, and I did not get anybody that wanted to spend 20 minutes with me just to validate this thing. So I thought, Ramona, what did you tell people? Are you going to keep going forward? Are you going to keep building this thing without knowing if you're solving the correct problem? No, I'm not. So I found a little toy. I know I'm always finding toys, but I can't help it. It's an AI toy. And I know I've talked about Ash Moria. I can't pronounce that last name. I say it like Moria in Schitt's Creek or however. But anyway, Ash, he created the lean canvas. I told you that one page business plan. And I had been following him for a while, but I had kind of fallen off, I think, during COVID. I just didn't, I'm not a startup. I'm a lifestyle business, if anything. I'm just a side hustle at this point. But I do like the lean canvas methodology and the framework. And so I looked him up again and he really outdid himself. The lean canvas is now it's called Lean Spark, and it's totally AI, and it's very cute. I'm going to show you that in a minute. But yeah, I built before I validated. And as Ash would say, life's too short to build something nobody wants. Yeah, right, right. And speed without validation is just efficient failure. So I don't want to fail. Really, I don't. So I am going to commit to a 90-day sprint. It's not a sprint, a 90 days to get this over the hump. It's 6 cycles, 6 2-week cycles, and you're asking one question: is the problem real? At this point, I don't know if the problem is real. I think that 6 months ago, my problem was more real than it would be now. In 6 months, things have changed so drastically that it's, I'm not sure. I think it just disintegrated my entire business model. And like I say, I'm on a side hustle type of thing right now. So I'm not too concerned that I've got to um, pivot right now. So the thing is, I've had ideas forever and ever and a day, and I just want to look. Hey, hi, Robin. So thank you, Robin, for coming. You know the Substack comments can't bring on, but thank you. Hope you get a little bit of value out of this. So, used to be building was very expensive. I've had ideas for years and years and years, but I can't code. The only thing I can do is code "Hello World" in about half a dozen programming languages, and I'm pretty darn good with the if then else loop, and I can hold my own on a do while. loop. But beyond that, things just fall apart for me. And I have taken classes. It's just, I get so far, I realize that I only have that much gray matter, and it just shuts off once we start programming. So when I saw vibe coding, I thought I'd die and gone to heaven. I'm like, are you really serious? I could talk to something and I can get an application that works. And I didn't believe it. I didn't believe it. I said, you better be a coder. You're going to have to be a coder anyway. But I went down the rabbit hole. And we're going to talk about that in a minute. But I just couldn't believe that I could get a working application, that something actually worked. I couldn't understand it. I couldn't understand it, but I was liking it. And then I got really excited and I said, well, if I tell it to do this, it's going to do it. And if I tell it to do that, it's going to do it. And everything's going to work. It doesn't always work. It's not that easy, but it pretty much works 90% of the time, and then you tweak it. So I got real excited and I'm down this rabbit hole, and I had 2 modules of the Creator Suite created, and they were working good. And that's when I said, let me go out and validate this. And that's when I got crickets. So I am going to show you in a moment Ash Maurya's Lean Spark AI. I'm just going to call it an AI application. I'm not sure. But what Ash says, test the riskiest thing, and that alone is kind of scary. So I'm going to make a call. I'm going to pick the riskiest thing that I'm assuming. What is the riskiest thing? I have to talk to the app. I'm not sure. I've got to test it. I'm going to test it against real evidence, not up in my head, and then I'll just decide. Ash uses the 3 persevere, pivot, or pause. The 3 Ps. That's kind of cute. I just realized that, the 3 Ps. But yeah, so I think I am going to persevere with the Creator Suite, but I want to show you another little app that I just did. I haven't created this one. I haven't created this one at all. So let's see. Okay. I'm not going to touch Creator Suite until I get more validation. But then, because I am a multi-potentialite, look it up. There's a TED Talk. It's very good. That's what I am. I jump from one thing to another. And I am just really happy to find this Lean Spark here. So I'm not sure. How do I get to the beginning? I think this is the beginning. And well, it's the beginning for me. Let me go grab you the actual home page. LEANSBAK. There we go. Okay, so most startups don't fail at building, they fail at deciding. And remember, this is a founder's, this is over there in the founder world. This is the founder economy that Ash is calling it. I'm calling it the build economy. That's another buzzword that's going around, because we can vibe code, right? So we can build things. And so he's just given his little schmeal here. But then when you get in, you can start for free. So I think that it's worth it to go ahead, jump in, start for free, get a few answers. You will bump up to the premium pretty quickly. That's just, it's going to happen with everything. So I've given him my $25 for the month, and hopefully I can get through it in a month or 2. So here I am with my my version, and I like it because we've got today, Saturday. It's going to tell me what I need to do. I'm supposed to be focusing on Sketch the Creator Suite on Canvas. I'm going to show you what that looks like. So just like Claude, ChatGPT, any of the chat bots, you're just going to talk back and forth, back and forth. We understand that, right? So all I gave it was, I'm building a Creator Suite app with Lovable for female course creators to help them create an automated system to grow their email list, 2 apps so far, Ideal Customer Avatar and Lead Magnet Generator. So it came back. I'm not going to read the whole thing because that would get boring. It says it loves it. It does say that what does it tell me? That the email list growth is a crowded space. Now, I think that's something that I really should take into consideration, that it is crowded and maybe I want to play in it, maybe I don't. So Lean Spark asks me, so the question is the question that matters most is what's actually broken about how female course creators are doing this today? Well, I assumed, and you know what assume does? It makes an ass out of you and me. Everybody knows what that means, right? So I assumed that the part that was broken was how to connect their landing page and their opt in forms and get that out onto the ether, onto the internet. And my assumption was based on being in Facebook groups that are specific to course creators. I'm in Amy Porterfield's Momentum. I'm an acolyte of Amy's. And her sales funnel is so elegant that I just had to find the whole thing. I won't go into the Millie Club because I'm just doing a side hustle, but I do sit in the Momentum Facebook group. And what I was seeing was people were getting stumbly. They were getting hung up on getting everything put together. They may have Kit, and then they say, "Oh, but I don't like their templates." And they may have Flowdesk, but I don't understand how to get everything together. So I thought I had that down pat, that this connection was where they were stumbling. And I'm going to admit, I only asked in 3 Facebook groups. I probably really need to get out and do more. Somewhere along here, it says you really need to do 40. That's your baseline, and then you're going to get, well, ask 40, and then you probably get like 10% or something. But I did like 3 Facebook groups and didn't get any takers, and so I felt, "Oh my god, I must be doing something wrong." But I need to get out there, and I need to have more validation calls. I need to ask people, just just let's have a coffee together. So this is going to take me down. That's the one thing, I now that's a crowded space. I should have assumed that before, but it is crowded. And it says you're assuming they know this problem. It does get pretty deep in here. I think it's just fun to run through it. I think it's just fun to run through this. It is trained, I would say, very well. If I asked Claude, or ChatGPT, it would probably give me similar um, answers, but this one seems to be dialed into that founder mindset. So I think that's kind of cool. So you just keep going down. Let's see what it has made for me. Let's see. I just found this thing, so I don't know how to run it. Okay. It took me 2 days to figure out how new idea 1 and new idea 2, how I was supposed to rename them. I just figured that out this morning. So I don't really know how to run this thing. So let's see what we're doing. It's experiments. Let's see what our experiments are. I am not at sprint 6, that's for sure. It has jumped me ahead. Can I go back to 1? Okay, you don't? Okay, it says I'm completed. I'm not sure why that is saying that, but I should be at sprint 1 for this thing. Let me go and show you this one. I just did this one this morning. So in my head, and I've had this for super, super long, way before vibe coding and AI came out, every time my husband and I, we'd get off the highway, we like to, go through the country roads because in Ohio, you're either in the city as soon as you hit the city limits, you are in super duper rural. It just goes city, rural. On all sides, there's rural. So it's fun to go down, some country roads and find little things. And I would always say, well, I really wish that I could find a farm stand, and you never can. You never can. This is before even Google, that you could, Google, farm stands and see if anybody's in your location. And I just wanted to say, I wanted an app that would say, where's the nearest farm stand to me, and GPS it, whatever that does. And so now I am going to test it against the Lean Spark. And what it's given me so far, started up here. This is all I gave it. I'm building an app that locates farm stands near you. And it says, great start. A farm stand locator is a tangible local problem. And then it goes into, here's what I want to understand further. What's actually frustrating enough to open an app regularly? Would people be out there, roaming, roaming the byways? And are they, looking for farm stands, or are they just taking their chances? So that would be something that I would have to investigate properly. It says, who do you have in mind when you came up with this idea? And I literally said people that are driving, on the country roads. That's all I said. And I'm going to give you an example of the Lean Canvas. Hold on here. Just looking here. This is what the Lean Canvas looks like. And I got a new computer, people. So now I can, I can I can zoom in and zoom out. My old laptop was just, I had to call Apple Care, and I'm like, I can't zoom, I'm following the directions with the trackpad, and I have it set up exactly like, the two fingers and the pinch and zoom, and it's not doing it. And so I had to talk like to two or three different advisors, and the third one said, let's check the battery. And when we checked the battery was saying this battery needs service, it's 70%, blah, blah, blah. And I said, oh, that's why I can't zoom in and zoom out. But now I can zoom in and zoom out. And I feel like I'm just loving it. So we got a problem. And this is what I like about the Lean Canvas. We used to be told that we had to create, what, a 30-page, 60-page business plan. And you had to have your predictions out to 5 years and 3 years. And that is not how people do things anymore. Things just move too fast to be stuck in a business model trying to figure out, you know, how you're going to make this business model elegant when you can do it all in one page. And this is proven. This is what startups use. I would venture a guess that possibly Airbnb and Uber, somewhere around the way, did something like this. So if they can do it, we can do it, right? So the problem, I've said no easy way to find farm stands nearby while driving rural country areas. And missing out on farm stands you didn't know existed. Discovery happens too late or not at all. How many farm stands have you driven by, especially with your husband? I've just got to the point where I was like, I'm afraid to ask him to stop and turn around. I'm not going to do it because he's targeted this way. So there were a lot of farm stands that we missed. So existing alternatives Well, you can Google them, but it doesn't show farm. The thing about farm stands is they're not like organized, they may not be in any database. They may or may not be listed somewhere, and hours are not always dependable because they only stay open when they got produce, right? So it is a very small little subset of farmers. You'd probably be easier to find farmers in your certain area than who has a farm stand because they're just very casual. They're historic, so it is going to be pretty hard driving around, always looking for the signs. Now, the solution is app that locates nearby farm stands, and then we could continue on. We don't have the metrics. Let's see. We would have to key metrics. So how would we measure this? We would measure this by how many farm stands we can get listed. That would be the first. That would be the first, I think, because you wouldn't want to have like 2 in one zip code and then 20 in another zip code. I don't know, but that would be the first metric. How many farm stands can you actually get listed? Your unique value proposition, we haven't gotten there. We haven't discussed that. What else did Lean Sparks says? The customer is people driving in rural. We already said that. And early adopters would be value-driven buyers concerned about supporting local agriculture and feeding their families fresh, unprocessed food. And that's kind of a big thing now. Um, the okay, how can I say this without being? I'm just going to say it. So I'm an OG hippie way back in the day. Yeah, I've been doing this forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. My son is, I'm not going to tell you how old my son is, but early 70s, we became more or less hippies. And we were very concentrated on what we ate. And we had to back in the day, you didn't have organic, you didn't have anything labeled properly. So it was really kind of a peck and hunt type of thing to find good food. And we've been ostracized for being, you know, looking in the wellness and wanting to do alternative medicine and whatnot. And now it seems like that has come to it's in the mainstream now. So, but it's a different group of people now. And if I were to pursue this farm stand app, I would probably have to hang out in a lot of groups that maybe I don't know if I would feel 100% comfortable in them now, because wellness seems to have taken on a different persona, so to speak. So that's one thing that I would have to think about. But I know that the local, I think there's a large enough contingency that people really want to try and buy local. Everybody's trying to feed their kids better, and it is mainstream. Our food stock, or whatever we want to call it, should be overhauled because we have been poisoned forever, especially my generation, because before my generation, they did have natural food and they were eating out of their gardens. And then my generation came, boomers. Yes, yes, we broke the internet. We broke the world, actually, when we came along. That's why there's just so many of us. So when we came along, they started really getting the additives and the chemicals and all that stuff. So we've been around, we've been eating it since we were little. And I do think that people are willing to change their ways. And if you go straight to the farmer, that's really where you want to be, right? You really want to be with the farmer. So there is one thing what else do we do? Like I say, this is a 90-day thing. I will say it gives you all these guides. Let's start with the guide. We got a customer interview script. I like this. This is very I mean, the slide is pretty basic. He's not giving you any style here. But welcome and set the stage. It's an entire script. Thanks for it is. I see. I didn't even know this. This is new to me. It's giving you an entire script, and then what else do you get? Anchor on existing alternatives. That's good to know. It's even telling you how much time. 5 minutes. What else do we get? Triggering events. Was there a specific moment when you thought, I wish there was a better way to find a farm stand? I like it. I like it. I'm not going to go through all of them. Let's see how many. Okay, 9 questions. That seems good. He's got all these, variables inside of the questions, so I like that. You get that, and then let's see how we get rid of this. Let me see the chat. Everybody okay? If you have any questions, just ask me. This particular thing is just brand new to me. And just like this is okay, how do I get back? Okay, so we got prospecting. Then, oh, wait a minute. No, this is another guide. What is a prospecting guide? Didn't I just go here? Oh, who to target, prospecting set strategy. See, this is what I need. I do like a good step-by-step. I like a good ABCD. This is what's going to help me. So I'm going to stick with this. You got your warm referrals, even got a email. He's giving you an email script. Hey, friend, mentioned you've spent time driving around. Okay. Expected response rate. He's given you, let's see what primary method. Okay, that's not a button, but it looked like a button. Okay. Watch the user experience. What else? More scripts. I'm liking it. Pipeline management. The 5-column system. I'll tell you that. I'm not going to get into that. What does it say? To do, contacted, responded, booked. Okay, and done. All right. Good stuff. Conversion expectations. He keeps on going. What's the final thing? Best practices and your daily ritual. I got to have a daily ritual. Okay, I didn't know that. 15 minutes to keep pipeline flowing. I need things like that. I'm okay with that. So let's see. I'm liking it. But I geek out on things like this. So I'm not sure if anybody else gets excited when they find things like this. I think that this is exactly what I need for the next 90 days. Now, I told you about that farm stand. I demoed that because I had just done that this morning, and it was a pretty good example to give. But the Creator Suite, on the other hand, I just need to start from scratch and consider that this is it's a crowded space, and it's a space that is changing with AI. And my business, traditional business, Inspired Creative Studio, was web developer and designer, but that's not. I think mine has just that business model is just totally dissolved overnight, and I accept it. I'm not going to try and um, lead people down a path that it's going to take. Oh my goodness, you want a website? It's going to take so long, yada yada yada, and then I'm going to run a prompt. If it's that easy, I'm going to tell my customers and clients it's that easy. I don't like to pull the wool over people's eyes, I guess. So, with that being said, my original idea was a 2-day project where somebody was going to get a landing page, a thank you page, your opt in form, everything all wrapped up. The easiest way from Canva to Flowdesk or Canva to Kit, everything was going to be in one little package. We're going to do it in 2 days, and your list would start growing. You'd have everything for your to grow your email list. But now that has collapsed into maybe a 30-day, maybe not a 30-day, but a 30-minute call with someone. Um, I don't know. What's everybody think? As far as web development, I think everybody knows that you can get a website just by giving a prompt. Is everybody agreed on that? Nobody. I know that there are people that just don't even want to do that. So that's probably my market. But I just, I don't think people are really doing, website design by hand anymore. And there are some things you need to be aware of when you're vibe coding and you're trying to, do a web design. If you put something in Claude or ChatGPT and it doesn't come back the way you envisioned it, it's merely because of the prompt. It's merely because you didn't give it the right information. And if you give it a design system, that's the main thing. That's one of the new things out there, a design.md markdown file. Google standardized that. So that's something that people, all you have to do is look at a design system and say, I want that. You grab the markdown, you give it to Claude, and you'd be surprised at how on point things get. So this is me. I really have to eat crow because I was telling everybody to validate, validate, validate. And now I'm validating. I will post things. I will let you know from the front lines as I go through this. I'm sure because this is so geared to a startup, there's going to be things in here that I'm probably going to say, not, I don't really need that. As it is a side hustle for me. Um, I'm just going to see how far down I can go. And I'm not going to stick with just the Creator Suite and a farm stand. I'm going to get all my ideas out in here. I paid $25. I'm going to do it for a month. So anybody have any questions or anything? Because I think the snackable treats are going to be 30 minutes now, at least for summer. I don't think you should be here. I was going to try, 45 minutes, but I think 30 minutes on one snackable treat, tech treat. I'll try and figure out what I think I'm going to let you know. I've got Flowdesk has done something with their emails. So they've created yet another chatbot, their own chatbot. And I haven't had time to really dive into it, but it looks pretty interesting. I think again, it depends on the prompt that you put into it. And sometimes I noticed that it kind of, you have to do everything in this area. It's called the studio. You have to do everything in the studio, make sure that everything in the studio is right. Because once you get it into the part of Flowdesk where you send your email out, you don't have any way to edit it anymore. So it becomes a great big block once you get it to the part where you're going to take it out to the world, send it out to the world. So I'll probably go over that this week and see if Flowdesk is doing this. I'm sure that Kit and Kajabi, MailChimp, everybody else is going to have something comparable because everybody's just falling in line doing the same thing. So if there's not any questions, I'm going to let you guys go. And my egg on my face, I admit it. I will probably make more mistakes. I don't care. I'm in a position in life that I don't care if I make mistakes in the public. It's okay. So I appreciate you hanging out, and I'll try and bring you some value next week. Just a little bit of snackable tech treat. See you next week.